To not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt wins. Right, the bouncers guilt wins.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is Joe Pugh for IFL TV. We're here at the OVO Arena, Wembley. Wow. Joe OPETAIA, first of all, Eddie, has the boxing world been sleeping on a star?
No, we knew he was a good fighter. We knew he was a star, and we saw it tonight. You know, shout out to Jordan Thompson. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was very, very brave. But we saw the levels of Joe OPETAIA, who is, you know, I talked about special fighters coming to this country. I think he's one of them. I think he's going to go and rule the division for a long time.
What went wrong for Jordan Thompson tonight? Is it just a case of levels?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think probably a little bit of confidence. I mean, look, the first thing I said to him when we got back in the change room was, time to move to heavyweight now. Do you know what I mean? Like, that weight cut is brutal for him. He does it safely, but he's a huge, huge cruiserweight. And now he'll move up. I think you'll probably see him end up weighing 16.5, 17 stone at heavyweight. And people talk about punch resistance. His punch resistance will be a lot better up at that weight. But I thought he did really well, and I thought he would gain a lot of fans tonight, because at the end of the first round he looked like he might be done, and he come back, you know, he held his feet, he had a go, he was always trying, he got up at the end, but it was the right decision from Howard Foster, and, you know, again, you saw a very special fighter. What
was going on between rounds 3 and 4? I think his dad went up and ran to the corner.
Went over to try and give him a little bit of encouragement. You know, his dad's a big motivator, and I think there's a lot of people thinking, will they pull him out at that point? But also, it's a world title fight, like, it's the kid's dream, and, you know, he hadn't been put down at that point, or maybe once, and like I just said to him in there, he went, I would have rather get flattened. I said, yeah, but you didn't get flattened, and you may have got flattened, so let's look on the positive side. You walk out healthy, you walk out, your career can resume. So, you know, I think he deserves a lot of props for taking the fight.
Should he have been pulled out in between rounds 3 and 4?
I don't believe so, no. I think, you know, actually, you know, when he came back into the fight, all of a sudden, he was like in a position where he looked okay coming off the stool, but, you know, he would get hurt a little bit, and you know, eventually it was too much.
We see Chris Smith, he was in the arena tonight, big unifications pending, but also at the other side was Marius Bradis, who is mandatory. Where next for Jai?
He does have a mandatory, and that is against Bradis. Yep. And of course that's, you know, probably going to have to be next. We want the unifications. We'd love to fight Smith. Love to do a big fight in Australia for Jai as well. But we'll have to see what's next. You know, I think, like I said, I'm confident that he can beat everyone in the division, and we'll see if we can make it.
At the start of the night, I know when Coogan was badgering you with Tony Bellew, he asked if Tony would beat him now. I think that silenced that.
Yeah, listen, Tony was a fantastic cruiserweight, WBC world champion. Obviously had a lot more experience than Jordan Thompson, and that would have been a great fight in their prime. Irrelevant question now, but the special fight.
Very quickly run through the card. Eddie Scottney, great performance. Yeah. Chev Clark, done the business.
Yeah, Chev Clark was a great fight, the perfect fight for him. I think he's going great at the moment. Good win from Eddie Scottney. Rhiannon Dixon looked great, especially at the back end of the fight. Jimmy Sains, fantastic, huge crowd, very heavy-handed. Good wins for George Liddard, Maisie Rose, Ibrahim Sullivan. I thought Shannon Ryan was exceptional tonight as well. And on we go for Wood Warrington.
Last one, we spoke earlier about Fury Usyk and Benn. EUBANK, just off the back of your comments about there's a pressure now for UK fights. How important is it for you to deliver a super fight in the UK?
I think it's important for British boxing, but, you know, we are in a stage where there's a lot of money being offered out for site fees and stuff like that. That's why I said if we can make Benn EUBANK or Joshua Wilder in UK, it'd be fantastic. But, you know, you are up against it because of the site fee money, and, you know, boxing's a hot sport, so hopefully we can bring a big fight to the UK before the end of the year.
Is Benn EUBANK unlikely in the UK?
It's up to the board.
Eddie, thank you very much for speaking to IFL TV.
To not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt wins. Right, the bouncers guilt wins.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.